Hey Soma, Pastor Brandon here. Today is June the 3rd as I record this. It is officially summer. Today is actually my oldest daughter's birthday, so it's a great day for my family. The kids are out of school, I think for most of you, and I know the city's beginning to open up and people are traveling, and so it just feels like a new kind of energy has been brought into the city and into our lives, and I know many of us are excited about getting out and celebrating this summer season together. As you may know by now, on Monday, there's some new guidelines being issued as the mayor and the Marion County Public Health Department are relaxing some of the COVID restrictions. They are providing some new guidelines, and so we wanted to bring you a quick video update to just let you know what our plan is as we wrap up our last month at the fairgrounds and begin to prepare to move back to our Midtown facility on July the 11th and come home, which we're so thrilled about. So most of you have probably heard by now that the new restrictions beginning next Monday, June the 7th, are that fully vaccinated people can go without wearing masks in most indoor and all outdoor environments, and that churches can return to 100% seating capacity for their gatherings and events. And so as we've talked about this as we do every time there's changes, we have a medical team made up of doctors and nurses and public health officials who are members of our church, who love this community, who know our people, and who are just wise guides for us. And so we as a leadership team have been talking and praying and discerning with them over the last several weeks how we're going to respond. And so here's some of the changes that we're going to be making in order to conform to these public health guidelines. In keeping with the CDC's most recent recommendations and the mayor's recommendations, we are going to ask that fully vaccinated adults, or just allow fully vaccinated adults, to no longer wear masks in our gatherings on Sunday or our Midtown facility for events like missional communities, weddings, things like that. And that's going to begin on Sunday, June the 13th. So not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, all fully vaccinated, essentially 12 and up, adults and those who are 12 and up, will not be required to wear masks. We encourage you to be mindful of others as you come into our gatherings and find seats and engage in worship. And of course, there's still going to be plenty of room for people to spread out should they feel uncomfortable with that. We're also going to begin to reduce the distance between the rows of chairs and no longer require pre-registration for Sunday gatherings. If you're not fully vaccinated, again, there's plenty of room for you to spread out. We'll still have masks available and things like that on site, but we're not going to police it. You know what the guidelines are, and we're going to trust you to use your best judgment to follow those guidelines. So that's what's changing. What's not changing are a couple of things. One, kind of consistent with the local school district's current policies, masks are still going to be required for everyone participating in Soma Kids, the volunteers, parents that are down there volunteering, children, I think it's 3 and older, as they're asked to do in school, will still be wearing masks in our gatherings and in Soma Kids. So we're going to continue that until those recommendations change for schools, which may happen this fall as we approach the new school season, or may not. We'll continue to evaluate that on a monthly basis. And as always, for those who have symptoms of COVID-19, or if you're high risk, or if you just simply don't feel comfortable gathering in person, we're going to continue to offer our live stream for the foreseeable future for those who want to stay at home and take advantage of that. Now, let me just say this pastorally, on behalf of our elders and really our staff. We know that anytime these guidelines change, it just creates some anxiety, some fear, maybe frustration. I know for some of you will feel like we're moving too fast. For some, you're going to feel like we're moving too slow, and you're going to be frustrated with some of the remaining guidelines that are in place. And again, we know that these changes are not just logistical changes. They are emotional, they are relational, they are psychological, and even spiritual. And so some of these things, wearing masks, social distancing in our services, they become norms for us. And in a sense, it's going to take a while for us to retrain our brains and our bodies that this is okay, that this is an acceptable risk for us to gather together. Again, before COVID-19, we were all taking risks, and we all had different risk factors or different risk thresholds and tolerances. And so some of this new season and this dance and this in-between is really just recalibrating our bodies and our minds to acceptable risks, just like we do in every other area of life, both with diseases as well as travel, and just living our lives as human beings that are vulnerable in the world. And so we know that there's just been a lot of polarization and politicizing of mask wearing and distancing and these guidelines. We want to avoid all of that. And really, as a community, our hope is to begin to, or continue, rebuilding trust with one another by creating space for everyone to acclimate at their own pace. Some of you, it's going to take a while and you're going to be more cautious, and that's okay. Some of you are ready to jump back in and you're excited to gather back together with brothers and sisters with no mask on and sing and celebrate and worship God together. And we're excited to be able to do that as we follow these guidelines together. So we just want to create space for others to have their own opinions, for us to not be judging one another, and again, just to continue to walk in humility as we pursue unity together. And so this is a great opportunity for us to practice, put into practice what we've just talked about with the fruit of the Spirit, to practice love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and faithfulness and gentleness and self-control in our interactions with one another. And so there's going to be renegotiating that needs to take place in communities, conversations, difficult conversations, new rhythms that need to be established. And so we want to encourage you, if you're in a missional community or a discipleship group, or if you're serving or whatever, just communicate, reach out, talk. If you have questions about these policies, if you want to talk to our medical team about vaccination, if you want to talk about these guidelines. Again, I'm not an epidemiologist, I'm not a doctor, I'm a pastor. And so we are leaning hard on those whose vocations give them insight and wisdom that we can glean from as a church. And if you have questions, we want to make those folks available to you to talk through some of these things. And again, we just want to acknowledge this will probably change again. It could change again as early as July or August. The city's already talking about opening wide and really loosening all restrictions. By the end of the summer, if the caseload gets below a certain threshold, vaccination rates continue to go up. And so there's still a lot of work to be done, and this is just one movement towards a new normal. And so we just want you to know we've been praying for you as a church community. We are excited about this new season. We're encouraged by these changes in guidelines. As vaccination rates continue to increase, we feel good about stepping into this new season with confidence and yet with humility. And so just know that we love you. If you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us. There's a lot going on this summer. If you're new and you're looking to get connected, we have, in addition to our Sunday gatherings, worship and prayer nights. We've got some work days here at the church. Missional communities and other communities are going to be opening back up and welcoming new folks in. So there'll be a lot of opportunities. Reading a book together, The Gospel Comes with the House Key. Our new community Rule of Life has just been put out in print. And so again, lots of opportunities to connect. We're so glad that we are in this season that we're in, and we look forward to reconnecting with you and worshiping together with you. So again, just if you don't remember anything else, all this will be in our newsletter this week. We'll drop this in the newsletter on our social media page. But these changes take place next Sunday, June the 13th, not this Sunday, June the 6th. So God bless you, and I pray that you have a great week.